Stephen King, born September 21, 1947, Portland, Maine, U.S., is an American novelist and short story writer whose books are credited with reviving the genre of horror fiction in the late 20th century. King is the second of two sons born to Donald and Nellie Ruth, née Pillsbury, King. His parents separated when he was very young. King and his elder brother, David, moved several times while growing up, living near their father's family in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and in Stratford, Connecticut, before their mother moved them back to Maine when King was 11 years old. After graduating from high school in 1966, King attended the University of Maine, where he wrote for the school newspaper. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in English and a teaching certificate in 1970. The following year he married the writer Tabitha Spruce, whom he met in college. While writing short stories, King earned a meager income by teaching and working in an industrial laundry, among other jobs. He had sold his first story in 1967 to a mystery fiction magazine, after which many of his stories were published in men's magazines. His first published novel, Carrie, 1974, is about a tormented teenage girl gifted with telekinetic powers. Its inspiration was sparked by King's memories of his brief stint working as a janitor in a high school and from an article he had read in Life magazine that proposed that girls might be susceptible to having powers of telekinesis at the time of their first menstruation. The novel's protagonist, a misfit named Carrie White, was created as a composite of two girls whom King knew when he was growing up. After drafting 3 pages of the novel, King had second thoughts about his idea and threw the pages away. His wife, however, rescued the pages from the trash, read them, and encouraged him to keep going. Carrie was an immediate popular success and was adapted into a film for the first time in 1976, directed by Brian De Palma and starring Sissy Spacek as Carrie. Other versions have appeared as television movies, feature films, and a musical play. Carrie was the first of many novels in which King blended horror, the macabre, fantasy, and science fiction. Among such works are Salem's Lot, 1975, TV miniseries 1979 and 2004, The Shining, 1977, film 1980, TV miniseries 1997, The Stand, 1978, TV miniseries 1994 and 2020-21, and The Dead Zone, 1979, film 1983, TV series 2002-07. The Shining, a horror novel set in a haunted Colorado hotel in the winter off-season, was inspired by King's one-night stay in a similar hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, during a time when the Kings were living in nearby Boulder. The Stand also mostly features a Colorado setting, though many of King's novels, including Carrie, are set in Maine. King's books were so popular by the 1980s that they were virtually guaranteed to be adapted into feature films, TV movies, or miniseries. That decade he published Firestarter, 1980, films 1984 and 2022, Cujo, 1981, film 1983, The Running Man, 1982, film 1987, Christine, 1983, film 1983, Thinner, 1984, film 1996, It, 1986, TV miniseries 1990, films 2017 and 2019, Misery, 1987, film 1990, The Tommyknockers, 1987, TV miniseries 1993, and The Dark Half, 1989, film 1993. By the early 1990s King's books had sold more than 100 million copies worldwide, and his name had become synonymous with the genre of horror fiction. In the 1990s and first decades of the 21st century, he published Needful Things, 1991, film 1993, Dolores Claiborne, 1993, film 1995, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, 1999, Dreamcatcher, 2001, film 2003, Cell, 2006, film 2016, Lizzie's Story, 2006, TV miniseries 2021, Duma Key, 2008, Under the Dome, 2009, TV series 2013-15, November 22, 63, 2011, TV miniseries 2016, Joyland, 2013, Dr. Sleep, 2013, film 2019, a sequel to The Shining, Revival, 2014, The Outsider, 2018, TV miniseries 2020. The Institute, 2019, Later, 2021, and Fairy Tale, 2022, King published several early novels, among them The Running Man, under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. After admitting to being Bachman, King released a collection of the first 4 Bachman novels, the Bachman Books, 1985, under his own name. The collection also includes his essay, Why I Was Bachman. King later published The Regulators, 1996, and Blaze, 2007, under Bachman's name. King's Mr. Mercedes, 2014, Finders Keepers, 2015, and End of Watch, 2016, form a trilogy of hard-boiled crime novels centering on retired detective Bill Hodges. The trilogy was adapted into a TV series in 2017-19, starring Brendan Gleeson as Hodges. King also wrote a serial novel, The Dark Tower, whose first installment, The Gunslinger, appeared in 1982, an 8th volume was published in 2012. A film adaptation of the series was released in 2017, and a TV movie adaptation aired in 2020. In his books, King explores almost every terror-producing theme imaginable, from vampires, rabid dogs, deranged killers, and a pyromaniac to ghosts, extrasensory perception and telekinesis, biological warfare, and even a malevolent automobile. In his later fiction, exemplified by Dolores Claiborne, King has departed from the horror genre to provide sharply detailed psychological portraits of his protagonists, many of them women, who confront difficult and challenging circumstances, though sometimes disparaged as undisciplined and inelegant. King's books show him to be a talented storyteller who deploys realistic detail, forceful plotting, and an undoubted ability to involve and scare the reader. His work consistently addresses such themes as the potential for politics and technology to disrupt or even destroy an individual human life. Obsession, the forms it can assume and its power to wreck individuals, families, and whole communities, is a recurring theme in King's fiction, driving the narratives of Christine, Misery, and Needful Things. His short fiction has been collected in such volumes as Night Shift, 1978, Nightmares and Dreamscapes, 1993, TV miniseries 2006, Hearts in Atlantis, 1999, film 2001, Just After Sunset, 2008, and The Bazaar of Bad Dreams, 2015. His collection You Like It Darker is scheduled to be released in May 2024. The novella Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, which was published in different seasons, 1982, inspired the Academy Award-nominated film The Shawshank Redemption, 1994, starring Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins. Numerous TV and film adaptations have been made of King's works, and they involved such notable directors as John Carpenter, David Cronenberg, Brian De Palma, Stanley Kubrick, George A. Romero, and Rob Reiner. While King often had little participation in these projects, he wrote the TV miniseries The Stand, 1994, The Shining, 1997, and Lizzie's Story, 2021. For The Stand and The Shining, King received Emmy Award nominations for Outstanding Miniseries. He also penned several motion picture screenplays, including Maximum Overdrive, 1986, which he directed. King explored both his own career and the craft of writing on Writing, 2000, a book he completed while recovering from severe injuries he had received after being struck by a car. He has also experimented with different forms of book distribution. The Plant, Zenith Rising was released in 2000 solely as an e-book, distributed via the internet, with readers asked but not required to pay for it. The novella You Are was made available in 2009 only to users of the Kindle electronic reading device. The short story, Drunken Fireworks, was released in 2015 as an audiobook prior to its print publication. King and his wife, Tabitha King, have a daughter, Naomi King, who is a Unitarian Universalist minister, and 2 sons, Joe Hill and Owen King, who are novelists. With Owen King he wrote Sleeping Beauties, 2017, in which women become wrapped in cocoons when they fall asleep. King received the National Book Foundation's Medal for Distinguished Contribution to American Letters in 2003 and the National Medal of Arts in 2015.